Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Here is another what's in my bag video. And yes, I am talking about what's in my bag, the gear that I'm using in 2023, the stuff that I'm using right now to create content that you guys see and stuff I do for work and side projects and things like that. But it's a little bit more than that, because I want to talk about the why behind all of the gear. I think it's easy for all of us, myself included, to get caught up in the keeping up with the Joneses, right? The saying of like, oh, well, so-and-so got this gear and they make good stuff, so I have to have the same thing to make good content. And ultimately, there's nothing wrong with aspiring to have new gear. And yes, there's gear that will make a difference in your films and in your photos and all the things that you're doing. But there does come a point where, why am I actually buying this new gear? For example, I recently sold my R6 Mark I because I have the R6 Mark II and I have the C70 for all my big, more filmmaking focused projects, and I have the R6 Mark II for photos and like YouTube videos. So I realized, okay, do I really need this other camera just laying around? So I decided to sell it. I sold some lenses that I'm not using. I'm selling some other things. So it's always good to clean house and remember the why behind the what that you have. I think it's good to always evaluate, okay, I want to buy this thing. Why am I buying this thing? It's not about me keeping up with anybody else. It's just about what I think will either A, enhance my craft, enhance my projects here, like when I buy filmmaking gear, or it's about, hey, I just want this to have fun. So now let's get into what is in my bag in 2023. So first, let's start with cameras. I typically always have my C70 with me, and I will typically always have my R6 Mark II. I will at least have one of them, if not both. And these are my favorite cameras. These are my only cameras at the moment, but these are my favorite cameras that I've used in the last handful of years. They're phenomenal for what they do. The C70 is a phenomenal camera. Dynamic range is ridiculous. It has such a nice cinematic soft image that's not overly digital. It's not overly sharp. The camera performs great. It just produces a beautiful film-like image. So I love this camera. It's phenomenal. You guys heard me talk about it. There's a ton of videos on this channel about the C70. So if you want to hear more about that, go check those out. I'm using it with the speed booster as well a lot of times. So I use a lot of EF glass. I don't really have many RF lenses because I like EF glass. I already had a lot of it, and it's just an easier transition. And I like the extra field of view and more of the full frame look that it gives a C70 with the speed booster. So that's my main filmmaking camera. Now, my other camera is the Canon R6 Mark II. I love the original R6. I think it's one of the best values in cameras today. Even still, the original Mark I, you can get them for really cheap. But the R6 Mark II just kind of improves on all the little things the R6 Mark I kind of lacked in terms of just overall resolution with a larger sensor and all that good stuff. So added some much needed video features like unlimited recording, all those good things, fixed the overheating issue. You get full frame 4K 60 with no crop. You get all these great features in such a great camera with phenomenal autofocus. Absolutely love this thing. I think the R6 Mark II gets slept on a little bit because everybody's on the Sony and Panasonic train. Don't get me wrong, they're phenomenal cameras, but I hear people talking about the A7 IV all the time, and they don't bring up the R6 Mark II. And I feel like the R6 Mark II actually outperforms the A7 IV in a lot of areas. So I just love this camera. So now let's move on to lenses. And I want to clarify that these are not necessarily all the lenses I use. There will be times where some of these are not in the bag. Sometimes they are. And I have ones that probably rarely make it into the bag these days. But for the most part, these are the lenses that I'm going to take with me if I'm going on a shoot or going on a trip and want to be able to film. So starting off, I'm never going to leave the house without my Sigma 24-70 f2.8. This lens is my go-to, do-it-all Swiss Army knife lens. It's phenomenal. It's great for video. Also great for photo. I love this thing. It's great. The stabilization built in, paired with especially like the R6 with the IBIS already in the camera as well. It's basically like holding a tripod handheld. So it's amazing. Love this lens. I'm also rarely going to leave without a good 50mm lens. 50mm is one of my favorite focal lengths. So I either will always have my Sigma 50 f1.4, the Art Series, the EF, or I will have my Helios 44M lens that I use. It is a 58mm f2, but it's just really unique. You guys probably heard of the Helios lenses. Love this thing. I've been using it a lot more lately, so expect some more content regarding that. But either one of those or both of those is in my bag at all times. Then I'm usually gonna have my Sigma 24 f1.4 in there as well, just because I love this lens for talking head stuff. It's great for photo. It's a really unique lens, being 24mm but also f1.4, so you get that unique perspective with really shallow depth of field if you want it, and also still wide. So it's a great lens to have in the kit. The other lens that I bring with me a lot is my Sirui 50mm anamorphic lens. I love this thing. You guys know I've talked about the anamorphics. I've talked about Sirui. Love this lens. It is usually always in my bag, even if I know I'm not going to use it, because you just never know. You kind of want to leave it around, keep it around, just because it's such a fun lens. I love using this thing, so always have this around. Love anamorphic stuff. Now, a more recent lens that always makes it in my bag if I'm going to do vlog type stuff or anything like that is this little RF pancake 16mm lens. This thing is great. It's super cheap, and it's the perfect vlog lens. It's got great autofocus. It's small, it's lightweight. Because it's so light, it's easy to hold the R6 out for a long time and be able to vlog without having to worry about it getting too heavy or just wearing me out very quickly. So love this little pancake lens. It's definitely not the most optically clean lens or the perfect lens, but it's just great for what it is. And I use it for just basic vlog stuff and simple things like that. So I know a lot of people will carry around a drone with them. I'm not a drone with me all the time kind of a guy. It's just not what I do. I enjoy using the drone when I need it, but I don't always carry it with me. So it's rarely in my bag. And if I'm gonna bring the drone, I'm probably gonna bring it in its own bag because I usually have enough camera gear in here. But the fact that I can fit all of these cameras and all these lenses in this one camera compartment of this bag is pretty awesome. Also, speaking of the camera bag, I do want to hit on the camera bag itself because I recently got this Manfrotto Pro Light backloader backpack. They actually sent it over to me. They're not paying me to say anything nice. I don't have to say anything nice about it at all. They just asked if I wanted to check it out. I said, sure. So I've been using it for probably about a month now, and it's fantastic. One thing I love about this bag more than any other camera bag I've ever used is that the bag itself is really light. I've had the Peter McKinnon, the first backpack that Peter McKinnon dropped back in the day. And it's been a great backpack. It's big, you can fit a lot of stuff in it, but the bag itself is really heavy. And then when you fill it up with camera gear, it gets even heavier. So I really love how light this Manfrotto backpack is. And I can fit pretty much everything in it that I would fit in my Peter McKinnon bag that I was using before. So I love this thing. I also love this backpack because it's deep enough in the camera compartment that I can actually sit the C70 upright. So it's perfect for a big cinema camera like that you can actually fit in the bag and it not feel like the bag is bulging or it's like, you know, poking you in the back or something when you're carrying it. So I really do love that. I'm a big guy. Backpacks don't always necessarily fit over my shoulders very great, but this one fits great. So I've really been loving this bag. It's super comfortable. The padding on the back is super thick. It's got this breathable material, so it doesn't get super hot either. Great bag. Really been loving it. My two main gripes about this bag are the fact that there isn't a lot of other storage beyond the camera compartment. There's one compartment up front, but you can only fit but so much in here. So I do miss having some of that extra storage and being able to slide, you know, an iPad up front or something like that. It does have a laptop sleeve in the back on the camera back compartment, which is dope. I can fit my 16-inch M1 Max MacBook Pro in here, so it fits that no problem. And you could technically, like, I've slid an iPad down in there as well, but it's not ideal because you know got them both sandwiched up against each other. And when you get the laptop out, the iPad slides out, or when you try to put the laptop back in, the iPad's in the way. It's just not as ideal. So I would have loved to have seen like another compartment maybe in the front. But overall, it's a great bag, especially considering how light it is. I'm willing to sacrifice a few storage things. And it also does kind of force me a little bit to bring less things, but I can still fit all my chargers, memory cards, batteries, all that good stuff, because it's got these pockets on the back lid. So it's overall a fantastic backpack. Really been loving it, and I'll probably honestly keep using it. Again, Manfrotto's not paying me to say any of this. This is just my own opinion. They just sent it over to let me check out, and I'm checking it out. If you guys are interested in the backpack though, there's a link in the description. Be sure to check it out. It's actually really affordable too compared to some of the other camera backpacks out there. I think it's a really good value in terms of storage and functionality for your money. So the last few things I'm gonna carry with me are obviously always extra batteries. I'm always gonna have memory cards, and I'm always gonna have my laptop with me. Generally, I just never know when I might need my laptop, so I always try to throw it in the bag to be sure I have it if I need to dump footage, you know, deal with memory cards, deal with storing footage, all that good stuff, quickly edit something. I have it all available to me, so I like having my laptop with me. This is the M1 Max version of the 16-inch MacBook Pro, so it's the first M1 series Pro laptop. It's got 32 gigs of RAM and it's got a terabyte of storage. It's a fantastic laptop. I use it all the time. It's kind of my main computer when I'm at home. I have a Mac Studio here at the office, but when I'm at home and on the go, I'm using this laptop all the time, and it does everything that I need to do. So absolutely love this thing. It's been a great computer. Definitely my favorite computer that I've probably ever owned. So that's pretty much my entire kit that I'm gonna carry with me on a general, I'm gonna go out, use the camera, shoot. Now, obviously, if I'm doing like a paid gig, I'm gonna have to bring lights and all this kind of other stuff. But in terms of my backpack, this is what's in here, and it's mainly focused on a lot of lenses. I just like options. I like to have options when I'm on a shoot. You never know when you're in a scenario where you might need a certain lens, and I try to minimize that by bringing stuff like a 24-70 that has multiple focal lengths, so I don't have to worry about, you know, carrying, let's say, every focal length in between. But I still do carry a lot of lenses, and I know everybody's different in that, but I like options, so that's why I bring those. Obviously, my laptop, those are basic things. So my camera bag is pretty simple overall. It's nothing too intense. I'm not a guy that has like a lot of multi-tools and stuff. I usually carry one small rig thing that has the multi-tool thing, and that's in there. Some people like to carry journals and notebooks. That's just not me. I'm more of a phone guy. I just type stuff in my phone if I need to write something down. I'm not a big note taker. I'm not a big write things down on notebooks. So like, I know I'm kind of different probably than some people, but this is my kit. This is what I carry with me every day. And yeah, I think it works. It works great. So let me know in the comments what you guys put in your camera bag, what bag you're using. Love to hear from you. I know the Peter McKinnon bag's really popular. I know there's a lot of low pro stuff out there. Peak Design has a lot of camera bags, but I'm really digging this Manfrotto bag, man. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know they made a ton of bags. I knew they were heavy into tripods. Love Manfrotto tripods over the years, but this Manfrotto bag is killer. I've been loving it, and plus it looks cool. I think it looks cool. I like red and black, and it's kind of red, black, gray, so it's got a cool look to it. So I'm a big fan of that. Also, just to keep you guys updated, I am moving later this month, so I will have a new dedicated space at my house to be able to shoot videos. I'm excited about that because I'll be able to shoot more and be more consistent with content because I won't always have to leave my house and come to the office to actually shoot YouTube videos. So I'm excited about that. That's kind of why I've been absent. I've been really busy and I'm just taking on some new responsibilities at my day job, my work. So I've been more busy there as well. So I promise I have a plan for new content, more consistent content. So just bear with me. I appreciate your patience. Also have more like creative stuff coming, like more short films, more little passion projects that I've been working on. So be on the lookout for that as well. A lot more stuff coming. Just got to bear with me for the next couple weeks until I get this move finished, until I get just all this job stuff settled. But I promise I'm still here. I'm still thinking about you guys, still going to be pumping out content. So yeah, that's all I got for you. I'll catch you guys in the next one.